Hi everybody, it's Carla from Casey Creates, and I'm going to recycle these boxes for carrying my projects in. So I thought I would make a video and show you how I do it, and it's a good way to be good to the earth by not throwing so many things in the garbage. Also, I desperately need organization and space in my life, so I'm hoping to cover these and make them pretty, and then gather up little kits of projects that I can keep inside. So everything in this bag is for my Enchanted Forest journal that I want to make, and then this box I have everything I want to use for a vintage journal with these pretty vintage pictures of the African American ladies that I found. So I'm going to try to have 3 project boxes packed and ready to go, and that way when I do craft, I can even take it with me. That's the goal anyway. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the box completely apart as carefully as I can. And I know at certain times of the year you can get decorative boxes from the craft store pretty cheap. And I do have a few of those, but I just don't want to buy anything else. I want to just start using what I have. And I know my 13-year-old, he loves anything on a stick, the food. So he's still into like corn dogs and pancakes on a stick for breakfast. And so I end up with these boxes. And I don't know how many times I have saved them, telling myself I'm going to use them and recover them, and I don't do it. So now that we've moved and I desperately need more space, well, actually we actually have a little more space, but I need more organization, I'm going to use these. I'm going to stop saying I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it. So I will show you what I'm going to do. Now I have been collecting paper from various thrift stores, and I may have showed this one in a haul, but you get, these are like those shelf papers, shelf and drawer liners that you can get from like Bed Bath & Beyond or a bedding store or anything like that, and they come in a long rectangle box with a lid, and they're really pretty. These are scented actually, and I can still smell them. Even though I bought this from a thrift store, it still smells great. And so that is a really pretty vintage pattern. And then I bought this one from the craft store, and I've used this one quite a bit. And I'm trying to decide, I'll probably do one of each of those. And then you may have seen this one around a lot. It's the one with the weathered wood and the roses, and I do love this one. I'm just not sure it's wide enough for what I want to do. And then this one, I had to literally cut it to fit in the drawer that I store all my paper in, but it is this beautiful vintage gift wrap with pictures of vintage ladies on it, and I think it's really pretty. So I may use that one. But for the first box, I think I'll use the shelf paper. And all I'm going to do is spray it. See if I can tuck it down into there. Yeah. And this sheet that I'm working on, I use it to dry my avocado dyed lace, and I use it for anything that might get the surface messy. So what I'm going to do is use this Loctite spray adhesive, And I'm going to spray both the box and the paper so that I'll get a really strong bond. And I wonder, oh, it would have been awesome if it fit the whole thing, but it doesn't. And that's okay. I can piece, one part's just going to tuck under anyway. So I think it's thick enough that I won't need to gesso it or whitewash it first. Let's hope. Oops. I hope it's going to spray. There we go. And I have all the windows open for good ventilation. It's actually cool here in North Carolina. I'm so excited. You guys, Arizona is beautiful. I don't have anything against it. I'm just not a high heat person. So I'm so grateful for the cooler temperatures. We're getting nice fall temperatures. And I still have to go walk my dog. So we're gonna have a walk where I won't be sweating for a change. So anyway, I've got that all sprayed. And now I'm gonna spray the paper. And we're gonna hope this is smooth and effortless. So far so good. So it should get nice and tacky by doing both sides. And I could already tell that, oops, my bag stuck to it. It's going to need, actually, let's do it this way. I can see it better this way. I could see where covering boxes could be really a fun thing to do. Alright, I had to go kind of fast there. Oops. Oh, got a little goopy. Sometimes when I'm teaching adult classes and I make mistakes in front of them, I just tell them, so this is an example of what you don't want to do. They get it. Oh, so that went on really well. It's nice and smooth. I did get it a little sticky there, but it dries, and when it dries, it's not sticky anymore. It kind of gets, yeah, it just dries so you don't feel it. And since that's in the front anyway, it's okay. But I am gonna go back now and just cover that little edge that I missed. Anybody know why people get really upset with the crinkling sounds? I don't, and I know there's a lot of people that they always say sorry for the crinkling, and I'm like, oh, does that bother you? I'm so sorry. So I rarely say sorry for the crinkling, but sorry for the crinkling. Alright, so again, I'm gonna spray, let's cut this one more time, so I don't need this much. I just love this print. I don't know if you can see it very well because it's really bright in here. It just reminds me of being in your grandmother's living area, sitting room, you know, dining area, this old vintagey wallpaper look. We live in a really old house right now, and the closet, the master bedroom closet, has old wallpaper. But the reason I'm okay with it is because there was only one other family that ever lived here, and I mean, they kept this house in pristine condition. There's nothing wrong with it. So it makes me happy that it was so well cared for. It's sort of our temporary digs until we know exactly what we're doing. So we're way out in the country, and we get to see deer and rabbits and squirrels again, and my dog is thrilled. He loves it. I think we added 10 years to his life because he feels like he has a purpose. He can see out of all the windows. And that's how he spends his day until Ethan gets off the school bus. And the school bus stops right at the foot of our driveway, which makes it easier on Mom when it's time to hustle him out the door. Most likely he won't ever miss it. Let's hope. Both my boys were really good though with getting up and getting out. Thank goodness. Okay, so this is all glued down. Ugh, really glued down. And because it's really glued down, and this sheet is kind of, what's the word, tacky, I'm gonna move it so that it doesn't keep sticking. My tablecloth is underneath, but that's okay. This is the table I work on for crafting and making videos. You've probably seen this pattern before. Okay, so that it's not so tacky, I rolled that back. I'm trying to decide, and I think I have decided. Where'd I put the scissors? Oops. Hold on. There they are. I'm not going to cover the inside. It's probably just a waste of paper, since it's just to hold my projects in. So now I'm just going to trim off the paper. So is this considered an altered box or upcycled box? Yes, I guess so. And if you were really industrious, I guess you could just trace this whole box onto large sheets of cardboard, but I can't imagine trying to cut all these grooves out. So I say just open up a box that would have otherwise gone in the garbage and cover it. And if this isn't extremely fascinating to you, I do understand. I just wanted to chat with you too, because I really think of many of you as my friends, and having a little talk or chat. I even have my cup of coffee here on the side, away from the glue, of course. You don't want to drink adhesive. But I'm enjoying this nice cool breeze that's coming through the window. And y'all can keep those prayers coming for my husband to find jobs. He is getting a lot of contact from recruiters, so we're hoping that's going to materialize into a job soon. It's October, late October. Hopefully by November that'll be in our past. My older son already found work, and he's thrilled about that. We're all thrilled about that. This is where he grew up, actually. He went to all his middle school and high school here, so he's got friends, and he's kind of jumped back in with both feet, and it's always a good thing when your kids are happy and doing the right thing. He's right back at our old church where he was always running production and the cameras and things like that. So keeping a 22-year-old excited about church is such a blessing. So I'm happy that he's started out on the right foot. Wasn't always that way, so, but there's lots of love and grace for kids who don't always do the right thing, right? So I am getting this box covered, and then in a little bit my sister's coming to pick me up, and I'm going to the clay store for the first time since I've been back. It'll be like a little reunion because I get to know my clay supply people really well, And I'm gonna buy clay today. Yay! I'm gonna start creating again. My boss has already invited me back to teach, and I've somewhat committed. I haven't signed any contracts yet for the winter season. I started thinking, though, you know, it's a whole different ball game living out here, because they do get a considerable amount of snow and icy weather, and typically I start in the mornings. So that means going back to my days in Wisconsin when I had to drive in the ice and the snow. It doesn't intimidate me too much. I think I can handle it, this Wisconsin girl. Okay, so here's the box. It's covered, and it's stuck down really well. So now I have my hot glue gun ready to go, and I'm just gonna glue this back together. And we'll see how it goes. There's that side. You know, you can put pretty little strips of lace or ribbon, which I probably will do. So there's this one. Just making sure it's sticking. And it is. And then to the side. And on this side. It's sticking, yay. So I'm gonna probably now, when I go to the store, I'll buy another box of corn dogs. Ethan will be happy. We haven't had those in a while. It's just kind of junk food. I don't even really like them. Okay, so I glued those and those, and now looks like these need to be, yeah, these go together as well. But imagine how pretty these can be. And you can probably find some nice gift wrap even at the Dollar Tree to cover them with. And this spray was not, this was the cheaper of the few. I saw some by Elmer's. It was really expensive, but this one was under $5, and there's quite a bit in there. And as far as I can see, it works great. So there's the box finished. And now the only other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 holes here so that I can put a handle on it so that it could actually be carried. There are 2 splits right here, and I think I'm just going to use some decorative trim to make sure those stay together and are pretty. So I'm going to stop the camera and gather up a few more things, and then I'll show it to you finished. I'll be right back. So I'm sorry to say, in just that little bit of time, the lighting has changed in here, so I hope you can see. I went ahead and covered another box. It was much easier with the larger piece of gift wrap paper. But I used this really pretty vintage paper with the images of the vintage ladies. And I found this at the thrift store. I think it was like $1 for the whole roll. That always makes it even more fun to use up because it didn't spend a lot. So if you will indulge me, I'll go ahead and glue this one together. So what were we chatting about? The beautiful day, the crispness in the air. A lot of people that I know, fall is their favorite season. Some people dread it because it means winter's around the corner and I also know a lot of people that suffer from fibromyalgia and joint ailments. I actually have a little arthritis and was diagnosed with fibromyalgia when I was pregnant with my surprise baby, which is Ethan. We were thinking, well, we were told there would be no more babies, and then came our wonderful surprise, Ethan. And during that time is when I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. But thankfully, I've had some horrible episodes, but thankfully it's been managed really well over the years. Only after a really stressful event or lots of strenuous work that I don't normally do does it get worse. But I have to tell you, doing what you love really helps. Doing something that keeps your endorphins up, keeps you happy, really, really helps. And then just my relationship with God and, praying and peace, praying and asking for peace every day. You have to be intentional about it though, because everybody's trying to steal your peace at some point or another, and it's hard sometimes. But typically I am a happy girl, and I'm very grateful for that. My kids are grouch muffins, and I'm always telling them, come on, tell me something you're thankful for, and they just growl at me. They don't like it. So when they start complaining, I'm like, okay, you can tell me your complaints, that's fair, but then you have to tell me something you're thankful for too. And they growl at me again. But I say that's fair. Because you can't be happy all the time. And there are some people that it's safe to complain with, right? So we don't want to seem like, you can't ever have a bad day. Sometimes when I get bad customer service, I really hate bad customer service. I think it's just, you shouldn't get a job like that if you can't be nice. But I'll hold my tongue and I'll just say, you must be having a really bad day. And it catches them off guard, and they look at you like, oh, was I rude to you? Sorry, I just had to jump up and go get another glue stick. Sometimes people aren't even aware that they're being crotchety old grouches. So you can find a nice way to kind of let them know. And on that note, when you get bad customer service, the first thing we want to do is tell somebody. But when we get good customer service, I think we should be just as quick to find the manager and say that person was really helpful or very polite or very kind. And this is a girl who's worked in customer service and worked with people pretty much my entire working life, so I do know how it's appreciated when somebody notices that you've done a good job and you took good care of them. So anyway, that's enough of my customer service rant. I don't even know what got me on that. Oh, just being sunny and happy. So these come together so nicely. I'm glad I'm doing this because I do love crafting, but I hate when it's so putsy that I can't stay focused, because believe it or not, ADHD is also in my life. I don't like it that I get so easily distracted, but that's probably why I'm not extremely organized, but I'm getting better. It's wonderful to know we can always get better at something we're not good at. I don't have to throw in the towel. I just have to keep working on it. Okay, so there is another box, and what I did for this box that we covered first was I cut out little strips of pretty ribbon right here, and just to cover up some of that rough edge, I'm going to go ahead and glue these strips on just so it'll look a little prettier. And I like the brightness, it's making it pop out really nice. I love contrasting patterns and prints. That's probably the boho side of me, because I love shabby chic and boho. But on Pinterest, I have gotten some wonderful ideas of, oops, I don't know what that was, pattern mixing. And my clothes somewhat reflect how I love boho. And it's so funny because my twin sister and I are very close friends and very much alike in a lot of ways, but fashion wise we've never been alike. She's much more glam than me. Not really glam, sophisticated is more the word. And so sometimes I come over and she goes, oh, so interesting outfit there. But I don't let it bother me because I do what I do. And I will pattern mix, and I like to put bell bottoms on my pants, and they're usually like really funky. But because of my job, I can dress artsy. That's another blessing. I can dress artsy with the job that I have, and no one cares. Even my husband makes comments sometimes that lends me to believe he likes my kind of artsy flair. He's never said anything negative about it anyway, but he's a good guy. I don't think he would. Oh boy, I can't remember what's the front. What did I just do? Okay, I think I need to do this one. I don't know what you think. These are just going to be for my use anyway, so they don't have to be absolutely perfect. And they won't get a lot of wear and tear. I think I'll just alternate the projects in and out as I'm finishing them. I love this ribbon. I had no idea how silky it is. Now that I'm working with it, I think it's like rayon, and I'd love to believe it's silk because it feels so silky. I don't think it would be silk for what I paid for it. I put this in my last haul video, this really pretty scalloped floral ribbon. I got it from Paper Mart. So they have different colors and patterns, so you can order this. And it's fairly inexpensive. But oh, it's just adding such a nice little pop of color to my project box. And there we have it. I'm going to put a handle here. Let's see if I can do that really quick. Just by punching 2 holes. If we can move you a little closer. I'll punch 2 holes. 1. Oops. Oh boy. I kind of messed up. I scraped some of the paper off there. Good thing this is just for me. Because craftsmanship is important when, I mean, it's always important, but especially if you're going to give it to somebody else. What did I just do? Hold on. Still going? Yeah. Okay, let's try this again. Oops. So, I'm trying to do this little trick where I'm going to put the ribbon through both. Oh, you know what? Is that? So I'm messing up on camera, guys. Let's see if I can make this work. Oh, I know. know what I can do to make this work. You gotta MacGyver it. Did anybody ever watch that show, MacGyver? I used to love that show. And my oldest son and I used to have MacGyver marathons because we're always trying to rig something to make it work. It's not just my term. I've heard other people use it too, but it's just funny to me because we like the show so much. So this is what I'm going to do when I'm ready to I'm thinking this is brilliant, but maybe not, because it might be hard unless this hole's a little bigger. Just make it a little bigger. There we go. So once the project is in here, you can just lace it through the holes. Can you see me? See what I'm doing? And now I will put these things in the bag more neatly. It would be cool to even organize the box with little sections, but if you're carrying it by a handle, that might not work out so great. But if you pull it like this, then you can just tie it in a pretty bow. How's that for just making it up as you go? Anyway, project box number 1 finished. And off camera, I will go ahead and finish project box number 2. I have some pretty lace here, and this one being that it's so vintage, I'm going to use the vintage lace, I think, on the edges. And let's see, turn this a teeny bit. So there's my project box. I think it's just because I was experimenting on camera, it's not as neat as I would like. I'd probably do something to clean up these holes a little bit. And maybe even, I don't know, like I said, I'm probably going to store these stacked like this, so there's no need to really decorate them more. But it's fun to chat with you, and thank you for helping me knock out this project. I really wanted to get these project boxes that were in my head actually accomplished. Wouldn't it be fun to have like 6 project boxes and everything you need is right in the box? So as soon as you're ready to craft, all you have to do, I mean, look, I'm gonna just put this on here. I can imagine all of these pretty project boxes just stacked up and ready to go. So that you don't have to worry about digging through things to find everything you need in order to get started on the project. So that was my project share recycled idea. I hope you find it useful. Thanks for watching with me, and I'll be back again with another project. Everyone have a wonderful day. Bye.